Everybody, I'm Mattspurs and I've just finished watching Tottenham Hotspur against West Ham. Tottenham Hotspur won 2-0 thanks to goals from Thomas Souček, which was an own goal, and Harry Kane. Both goals were scored in the second half. The first half wasn't so great, actually. I felt the first half was a little bit scrappy. I thought West Ham had more chances in the first half. I didn't feel so comfortable with the way Tottenham were playing. However, towards the end of the first half, I felt we were starting to get into our groove, starting to find good passes and find pockets where we could play and make chances. This included the goal, which was ruled off for offside. I felt, to be honest with you, on first looking, that Son was onside, and even when you saw the lines from VAR, I felt it's a bit of how should I say? I felt sorry for Son because I think his big toe was offside. I think sometime in the future we need to think about this rule and how we can make it better, because something like that, I think when you look at that, you think, oh, it's stupid, because before VAR that wouldn't have been offside, I think. And the VAR is ruling goals offside for just the smidging of things. So I felt that was not so great. However, like I said, towards the second half we were playing much better, and then I felt Lucas Moura at the end of the first half had the chance of the half when the ball was cut across, I think by Ben Davies, and all he had to do was find the corner, but he pulled the shot past the post. And we went into half-time at 0-0. In the second half, I think we picked up where we left off. We started pretty well, but again, I think we needed just that extra bit of luck, and I think that's what came our way when the ball went into the net after hitting Thomas Souček from a corner by Giovanni Lo Celso. And some people, including Jamie Redknapp on Sky Sports, have said that it may have hit, or probably hit, Davinson Sanchez on the arm before it was deflected into the path of Thomas Souček, who put it into his own net. But I think if you're going to rule that off for handball, I think that's a bit unfair. I think, again, it's probably a little bit of a silly rule. But anyway, we took the lead because the referee didn't rule the goal out. So I was happy, of course. And then I think gaps started to open up because Felipe Anderson came on for West Ham, and West Ham was starting to go forward. We were starting to find more space. Giovanni Lo Celso again picking up the ball, driving forward with the ball, and making chances. I felt we could have scored more, but it wasn't until Eric Lamela laid the ball through to Harry Kane in the last 10 minutes, I think. Harry Kane ran onto it, beat the defenders, and then struck the ball past the goalkeeper. And then his celebration was very interesting because he just ran to the touchline and dived like Klinsmann, but I think his dive was more like, oh, I'm so tired, or thank God for that, because he scored. Especially during the week when people have been talking about maybe Harry Kane won't score so many goals. But again, I think if you look at the statistics, he's scored 8 goals now in 12 games under Jose Mourinho, so he's obviously going to get chances. Maybe not as many as he got under Mauricio Pochettino, but I think he's still going to get chances. I mean, he could have scored a couple of more. He had a great chance after a counter-attack, and the ball was again cut across, and he tried to shoot with his left foot, but just trickled past the post, so he could have had another goal there. Overall, I'm pretty happy. I felt we played pretty well. I think we're starting to understand the Mourinho methods. I think the back four played amazing, actually. I felt Dyer, again, was a rock. And for me, Dyer was one of my man of the matches. I think him and Sanchez really complement each other. And you may be surprised to think that in the 2 matches that they've played with each other, we haven't conceded from open play. And maybe for Spurs, that seems a bit good, right? Do you remember what it was like before? So I think we did really well. And to be honest with you, if I was Jose Mourinho, I would keep that back 4 in now. Unless someone gets injured or someone's not 100% fully fit to play, we should play with that back 4 and try to build confidence between them. I'm happy with Serge Aurier. Gives me a heart attack sometimes, but I think once he's over the halfway line, I think he's a good player. Ben Davies, I think, is a steady Eddie. He might not be the best in the business, but I think he still does a job. Giovanni Lo Celso, I felt, played really, really well in the centre of midfield, alongside Moussa Sissoko, who, again, I felt, as the game wore on, I felt he just grew into the game. Again, I think the first half he didn't have too many touches, but in the second, I think he had a few more touches, and he was a vital player in our win. And obviously, the front 3, I felt Son, obviously he got his goal, and he had some other good touches. So I felt Son was good. Lucas was okay. Again, first game back, so maybe not so fit. But I felt Dele could have done better, I think. He had one shot that he scuffed wide, and I think he found it hard to get into the game. He's not the same player as Lamela, because Lamela, when he came on, he was willing to win the ball back. He's willing to get stuck in, whereas I think Dele Alli is not that kind of player. So I felt once Lamela came on and then Bergwijn came on, we looked more likely to score the second goal, which we did. And actually it was thanks to Lamela, because I think it was his assist that meant that we scored the second goal. And of course, Harry Kane, I felt, he's still coming back to fitness, but I still think he's a leader in our team. 137 goals now in 200 games. He's one of the best strikers ever to play in the Premier League, and probably one of the greatest strikers ever to play for our club. So I think he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet, and I'm not going to give him stick ever, because I think he's a great player, world-class player. He's probably the only world-class player we have. Well, Tanguy and Dembele also didn't come off the bench. He stayed on the bench the whole game again. We haven't seen him at all since the lockdown for football anyway was cut short. Harry Winks came on at the end just to pack another man in the midfield, I think, for Son. So take one attacker off and then put Winks in, kind of sit back and defend and take the 2-0 win, which I think was good. But yeah, I feel for Tanguy. Hopefully he can get on. Tanguy is really, really good, I think, in terms of his technical ability, but maybe there's something that Jose Mourinho doesn't like about him. I mean, what do you think? But anyway, these are just some of my post-match thoughts. If you have any questions or any queries, make sure you leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please press the subscribe button. And I'll be back for another video very, very soon. But anyway, I'm happy this evening because Tottenham won 2-0 against West Ham. Come on, you Spurs.